A young black waitress smiles politely as a group of leather-clad bikers bearing the infamous Hell's Angels patch walk into her small-town diner. Most customers shift nervously. She doesn't. She serves them with kindness. And when one of the bikers leaves without ordering, she quietly pays for his coffee anyway. The next day, she finds something on her table that leaves her knees trembling, a check, with more zeros than she's ever seen in her life. But that wasn't even the biggest surprise. Nia was just 19 years old, working the breakfast shift at Gracie's Diner in a sleepy southern town. Her smile was warm, her heart even warmer. Every morning at 6 a.m., she'd tie her apron, take a deep breath, and remind herself, be kind, no matter what. Life hadn't been easy. Raised by a single mother, she worked 2 jobs to help pay rent and support her younger brother, who had cerebral palsy. But Nia never complained. She believed in treating everyone with dignity, whether it was the mayor or a stranger who smelled of oil and exhaust. One rainy morning, a group of loud motorcycles thundered outside. The diner windows rattled as 7 Hell's Angels stepped inside, leather vests, tattoos, long beards, and silence followed them like a shadow. Patrons froze. Forks stopped midair. Even her manager slipped quietly into the back room. But Nia? She picked up her notepad and walked right over. "Good morning, gentlemen. Coffee?" she asked with a smile that didn't flinch. The leader, a burly man with a scar across his cheek and a name patch that read Red Dog, raised an eyebrow. He didn't speak much, just nodded. The rest followed. She poured them coffee, cracked a few jokes, and treated them the same way she did the church ladies who came in on Sundays. Then something strange happened. One of the bikers, an older man who hadn't said a word, stood up, muttered something about not being hungry, and left. Quietly. Alone. Nia noticed. She also noticed the hesitation in his eyes, the weariness in his steps, and the fact that he left his coffee half full. After finishing her shift, Nia went to the register and paid for his untouched meal. No drama, no announcement, just kindness. The next morning, Nia returned for another shift. The sun had barely risen when her manager rushed to her pale and wide-eyed. "Someone left this on table 4. "And asked that you get it," he said, handing her a sealed envelope. Nia opened it slowly, and inside was a check, a real one, signed and made out to her for $50,000. She gasped. Her knees buckled, and she sat down in the booth to catch her breath. Tucked inside was also a note scribbled in messy handwriting. "Most people stare. You saw me, you didn't judge, you gave me back something I thought I'd lost. Dignity. My name is Frank. I haven't spoken to anyone in days. That meal, that coffee, that mattered more than you'll ever know. The money? It's yours. You reminded me I still had a heart," she cried. Right there, in the middle of the diner, with toast burning on the grill and coffee pots gurgling in the background. Narrator continues. Later that day, a biker walked back in. It was Red Dog. This time without the others. He walked up to Nia, took off his sunglasses, and looked her in the eyes. "Frank," he said slowly, "was my brother. He passed away last night. Liver failure. We buried him this morning." Nia covered her mouth. He continued. "Before he died, he told me about you. Said you treated him like a human being, like a man. Most people didn't. He left instructions, told me to bring you this." He handed her a small velvet box. Inside was a silver pendant with the word hope engraved in block letters. He said you gave him that in just 1 cup of coffee. One simple act of kindness can ripple across hearts, miles, and even lifetimes. Nia didn't offer money. She didn't quote philosophy or preach goodness. She simply saw someone who looked invisible and made them feel human. Frank was more than a biker. He was a man carrying pain, regret, and loneliness. And in his final hours, he met a young woman who reminded him of hope. Sometimes the world teaches us to be cautious, to judge quickly, to retreat. But love, real love, is quiet, brave, and radically kind. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who needs a little faith in humanity today. Have you ever received or given a simple act of kindness that changed everything? Subscribe to Kindness Echoes, where real stories remind us. Even the smallest kindness can echo through eternity.